Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
Hi, everyone. My name is Catherine.
What do you got, Catherine, for us today?
That's a good question. Well, we've got a little bit of a Seinfeld situation. So, for those of you who are not familiar with this American TV show, which, by the way, is one of my favorites, Seinfeld is a TV show, a comedy about very awkward, very common situations that are taken to the extreme.
Right, so it's a very popular show. It was around for like 10 years, I think.
Yeah.
And but it's not airing anymore. Well, they're not making new episodes anymore.
No, you have to see them in reruns.
Reruns, right? So we have a situation that's very common. It was pretty funny on the show. It's a guy trying to rent a car.
Okay, so he's probably at the airport or traveling, and he's had a long flight and he wants to rent a car, but of course there are some problems. So This is an elementary level lesson, by the way, so keep that in mind as we listen to this dialogue one time.
Hi, I made a reservation for a mid-sized vehicle. The name is Jimmy Fox.
I'm sorry. We have no mid-size available at the moment.
I don't understand. I made a reservation. Do you have my reservation?
Yes, we do. Unfortunately, we ran out of cars.
But the reservation keeps the car here. That's why you have the reservation.
I know why we have reservations.
I don't think you do. If you did, I'd have a car. See, you know how to take the reservation. You just don't know how to hold the reservation. And that's really the most important part of the reservation, the holding. Anybody can just take them.
But we do have a compact or an SUV if you'd like.
Fine. I'll take the compact.
All right. We have a blue Ford Focus for you, Mr. Fox. Would you like insurance?
Yeah, you better give me the insurance because I'm gonna beat the hell out of this car.
All right, great. So this actually happens a lot. You make a reservation and either they lose it or they run out of cars. It's such a common situation.
And it's not just cars. Sometimes this happens at restaurants too, and it really makes me angry.
Yeah, that happens a lot. You show up and they're like, oh, we don't have a reservation. And you're just like...
Well, then you have to keep yourself in check. You can't really get angry. But this guy does. So let's take a look at the language takeaway to find out what are some of the words we're using here to describe renting a car and what kind of car we're talking about.
Language takeaway.
Well, as you mentioned, at rental places, they have different size cars, right? Different size vehicles.
Which, by the way, cost different prices.
Right. So let's take a look at the sizes that they mentioned in the dialogue. Starting with the cheapest one, the least expensive, and the smallest, it's a compact vehicle.
All right, compact. So compact actually means small.
Small.
Right, so compact car you're going to hear very often, even if you're buying a car. Let's think of what's a compact car? The VW Golf is a compact car, very small car.
So usually it's 2 doors, or if it's a 4-door car, it's very small, not very long, right?
Right, exactly.
So maybe like a Ford Focus could be a small car,
also
a compact. Now moving up in size a little bit, we would have a mid-size vehicle.
Okay, mid-size vehicle is, it's a giveaway here because mid means middle. So it's kind of in the middle between the small and the large. And this is your average 4-door sedan car.
Okay, so as an example, you would have a Ford Taurus or maybe a Toyota Camry.
Yeah, Toyota Camry is maybe the most common car. Yeah, definitely.
It's kind of expensive, but it's still mid-size, right?
Exactly.
And now a bigger car, and probably one of the most popular cars in the United States, is an SUV.
Not anymore, Marco.
I know.
With the energy crisis and the
gas prices.
And the economy as well. People are not driving their SUVs anymore. But SUV is an acronym. That means it stands for 3 different words. S meaning...
Sports.
U meaning?
Utility.
V?
Vehicle.
All right, thank you. So SUV, Sport Utility Vehicle, it means it can go maybe off-road.
Right. So an example of this would be a Ford Explorer or
Jeep Cherokee.
A Jeep Cherokee could be an SUV as well. So right, those are 3 different types of cars. Now obviously there are many more, like a van or a
limo.
like a limousine. But yeah, these are the most common ones that you would rent at a car rental place.
Yeah, definitely. But what we have to do here is make a reservation.
Now, interesting, you make a reservation.
Yeah, you don't have it. You don't do it.
You make it.
Yeah, you make these are words that go together. So we're going to keep them together. I can call a restaurant. So say, for example, Marco works at a restaurant. Say, hello, I'd like to make a reservation for tonight.
Oh, okay, perfect. Now, if you show up at the restaurant, you say,
where's my table? I made a reservation.
right.
And of course, I throw a fit because there's no
They don't
table
have
for
it.
me. So you make a reservation, and in this case, it was made before.
Okay, so you make a reservation. Now, why was this guy angry at the rental car place?
Oh, long story short, the company ran out of cars.
Okay.
Not all cars, just the car that he wanted,
Right.
the mid-size vehicle.
So they ran out. So that doesn't mean they're actually running somewhere.
No, they're
right?
not putting on their running shoes and going for a jog. No, in this case, to run out, or in this case, we ran out, means that they don't have any more.
You don't have any more. Exactly. I think this word is a nice word for us to take a look at some other examples now.
Example 1. We're going to run out of gasoline. You need to find a gas station soon. Example 2.
Can you buy some milk on your way home? We ran out last night.
Example 3. My pen ran out of ink. Can you lend me one, please?
Not a fun phrase, but an important one in case you're ever in a restaurant or in a hotel or in a place where you can purchase something or rent something and it's all gone.
All right. So I think we've taken a look at a lot of great words here. So let's listen to this dialogue again. We're going to slow it down just a little bit, and then we'll come back and explain some phrases.
Hi, I made a reservation for a mid-sized vehicle. The name is Jimmy Fox.
I'm sorry. We have no midsize available at the moment.
I don't understand. I made a reservation. Do you have my reservation?
Yes, we do. Unfortunately, we ran out of cars.
But the reservation keeps the car here. That's why you have the reservation.
I know why we have reservations.
I don't think you do. If you did, I'd have a car. See, you know how to take the reservation. You just don't know how to hold the reservation. And that's really the most important part of the reservation, the holding. Anybody can just take them.
But we do have a compact or an SUV if you'd like.
Fine. I'll take the compact.
All right. We have a blue Ford Focus for you, Mr. Fox. Would you like insurance?
Yeah, you better give me the insurance because I'm gonna beat the hell out of this car.
And we're back. So, Marco, we've got a couple phrases here that deserve some attention. So let's take a look at them in today's Fluency Builder.
Fluency Builder.
So the first phrase that I want to take a look at is when the agent says, "I'm sorry, we have no mid-size available at the moment."
Okay, so do they or do they not have any?
Yeah, she says, "We have no mid-size."
Okay, so another way to say this is we haven't got any.
Or we don't have any.
Okay, but in this case, you can just simplify it and say we have no. Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't you say we have none?
Good question. Why?
Because we need a thing here. We have no cars. We have no cake. We have no food. So this is a very common phrase in English. And remember to put the thing at the end. So,
for example, can I say I have no money?
absolutely. I'm so
Right.
sorry, Marco, but I'm not going to lend you.
I have no money. Seriously, lend me some money. So we have no. This is interesting because this is not a structure that is usually learned through textbooks, right? You usually say I don't have or we haven't got.
Exactly. This is very spoken because you would never say I go no.
Right, exactly.
Right? We have to talk about something that we that has an object, something that we have. So here, I have no is very spoken, very common. It's got another phrase that is also not taught so much in those textbooks that we were just mentioning. So what's that phrase at the end?
well,
Threat. It's a threat. The guy is so angry, he leans over the counter and he points his finger in the agent's face. And what does he say?
He says, yeah, you better give me the insurance.
You better.
You better.
All right, so you better than me?
No, it's not like better, like something is good, right? You'd better is like a suggestion, but a very strong one.
Okay,
right?
Very strong. This is a threat.
Yeah, it's this
You'd better eat your dinner or I'm going to send you to your room.
Exactly.
All night. Yeah.
So as you can see, he says, you better give me the insurance. But the grammatically correct way would be,
you had better.
you had better. So the contraction would be you'd better.
Exactly. You had better do this. So this is it's a hypothetical situation. You had better do this. If you don't do this, bad things will happen. So
Right.
remember that here we've got the grammatically correct form that you should write, you'd better, or the spoken form, you better.
You better. I think in this one, we should also listen to some other examples to get a better idea of how we can use this very strong suggestion.
Example 1.
You better go to the doctor before that cold gets any worse.
Example 2. You better watch out. It's dangerous to go out this late. Example 3.
She better change her attitude, or her boss is going to fire her.
So what is the threat? You better give me insurance because what is he going to do?
He says, I'm gonna beat the hell out of this car.
Okay, so this is future. I'm going to. I'm
Right.
gonna
Right?
beat the hell out of this car. So this is very strong, right?
Yeah, it's very strong, and he's saying he is going to destroy the car.
So beat the hell out of, so that means really just do damage to something.
So you can use it as, towards a person also. It's like, I'm going to beat the hell out of you.
And I'll arrest you for violence.
Right, so it's a very strong phrase. It shows anger, it shows that you are threatening somebody. So it's not, obviously, it's not polite.
And it might get you a broken nose in a bar if you ever say this to someone or about someone, so be very careful.
Right, but you can use it to describe a situation, right? He's like, yeah, we went to a bar yesterday, and Dan beat the hell out of the bartender. Right?
Man.
So instead of just saying Dan hit the bartender or Dan got into a fight, you're saying he hit him and he just...
And he kept hitting him and kept hitting him and kept hitting him. So
Right.
yeah, he beat the hell out of him.
Right.
All right, great. So those are the phrases and words that we wanted to talk about today. But I think it'd be good if we listen to this dialogue one more time just to get a good feel for it. When we come back, we'll be talking a little bit more about the process of renting a car.
Hi, I made a reservation for a mid-sized vehicle. The name is Jimmy Fox.
I'm sorry. We have no midsize available at the moment.
I don't understand. I made a reservation. Do you have my reservation?
Yes, we do. Unfortunately, we ran out of cars.
But the reservation keeps the car here. That's why you have the reservation.
I know why we have reservations.
I don't think you do. If you did, I'd have a car. See, you know how to take the reservation. You just don't know how to hold the reservation. And that's really the most important part of the reservation, the holding. Anybody can just take them.
But we do have a compact or an SUV if you'd like.
Fine. I'll take the compact.
All right. We have a blue Ford Focus for you, Mr. Fox. Would you like insurance?
Yeah, you better give me the insurance because I'm gonna beat the hell out of this car.
You know, I heard that in Florida or in certain cities of California and Florida, you can actually rent luxury cars.
Oh yeah, you can do that in most places.
You can rent like a
Porsche.
or a Lamborghini or a Ferrari.
Yeah.
Obviously, it costs a lot of money, but it gives you the opportunity to maybe drive one of these cars that you obviously wouldn't have the money to buy.
Yeah, especially if you're talking about those warm places like Florida, California, you want to be in the sunshine, you get a convertible.
You got to
Right?
get a convertible.
Yeah, so I think the insurance premiums on those particular cars are very high, though. So you're not only paying
Yeah.
for the car, but you're also paying for the insurance, and possibly the speeding tickets.
Yeah, of course. I can't imagine renting one of those cars and not getting a speeding ticket.
Exactly. So, if any of you out there have experience renting cars or you have some questions about the specifics that are involved in this process, let us know on our website, englishpod.com.
Right, we're there to answer any questions or doubts, and we'll see you guys there.
All right, until next time, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word. To make an arrangement to hold something for later.
Make a reservation.
To make arrangements for later.
Book.
To not have any.
Have no.
The protection that is offered by an insurance policy.
Coverage.
Contract signed with details of car rental.
Rental agreement.
To have no more.
Run out.
You should.
You better.
To leave money when you rent a car and that you get back if you return the car in good condition.
Leave a deposit.
To purposefully abuse something.
Beat the hell out of.
A medium-sized car.
Mid-size vehicle.
The amount of money to be paid per day the car is rented.
Daily rate.
At the present time.
At the moment.
A small car.
Compact.
Sport utility vehicle.
SUV.
Protection from costs of accidental damage.
Insurance.
Let's try that faster. To make an arrangement to hold something for later.
Make a reservation.
Contract signed with details of car rental.
Rental agreement.
To not have any.
Have no.
A small car.
Compact.
At the present time.
At the moment.
Sport utility vehicle.
SUV.
To have no more.
Run out.
The protection that is offered by an insurance policy.
Coverage.
The amount of money to be paid per day the car is rented.
Daily rate.
A medium-sized car.
Mid-size vehicle.
Protection from costs of accidental damage.
Insurance.
You should.
You better.
To purposefully abuse something.
Beat the hell out of.
To make arrangements for later.
Book.
To leave money when you rent a car and that you get back if you return the car in good condition.
Leave a deposit.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Make a reservation. I've made a dinner reservation at our favorite restaurant for tomorrow night. Make a reservation. I'm sorry, sir. You need to make a reservation in order to eat here. Make a reservation. Many hotels now offer a service where you can make an online reservation. Have no. You have no right to tell me what to do. Have no. We have no electricity in the building. Have no. Susan has no money since she lost her job. Run out. We're going to run out of gasoline. You need to find a gas station soon. Run out. Can you buy some milk on your way home? We ran out last night. Run out. My pen ran out of ink. Can you lend me one, please? You better. You better go to the doctor before that cold gets any worse. You better. You better watch out. It's dangerous to go out this late. You better. She better change her attitude or her boss is going to fire her. Beat the hell out of. Our team beat the hell out of the other team last week in the game. Beat the hell out of. If you ever do that again, I'm gonna beat the hell out of you. Beat the hell out of. Did you see that? That dog just beat the hell out of that poor cat.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And my name is Catherine, and today we're talking about a very important day in a couple's life.
That's right. We're going to a wedding, and but this time it's not going to be so romantic because actually the groom is having second thoughts about the wedding.
Okay, that means he's nervous and he's not positive he wants to get married today. So remember, the groom is the man, the bride is the woman. Let's jump right into this dialogue, listen to what's going on, and when we come back, we'll be talking about some of the words and phrases you've heard.
Man, I'm freaking out. You gotta help me.
Whoa, take it easy, relax. Jeez, you're sweating like a pig. What's going on?
I can't go through with this. I just can't. I'm not ready for marriage. What was I thinking? I'm only 35 years old. I've got my entire life ahead of me. Adventure's waiting. I can't settle down yet.
What are you talking about? It wasn't more than a month ago that you were rambling on about how you are tired of living the life of a bachelor and how you envy your friends that have a family.
I know.
Let's think this through. First of all, you cannot leave Amy at the altar. Not only will she be humiliated and kill you, but she is the woman that you love and the woman of your dreams. Why would you want to end that or jeopardize it like this? Second of all, you were just getting cold feet. You know deep down inside that you'd want to marry her. So cut the crap and do it.
You're right. I'm being crazy. Okay, I'm ready. Let's do this.
Great. Whew. That was a close one. You had me going there for a minute. I thought I was gonna have to slap some sense into you. All right, we're back. So he almost didn't get married, but luckily you have a good friend to help you out.
Exactly. So this friend really saved the day, made sure that the groom didn't get too nervous, and had some really positive words. So let's take a listen to some of these marriage words in today's language takeaway.
Language takeaway.
All right, so as you mentioned, we have this word marriage. Now, marriage is the noun form, right, of actually getting married or to be married.
Right. Marriage is the noun, the word that describes the relationship between two married people. Mm-hmm. Okay, and so you have a relationship, maybe you're dating, but once you get married, the thing between you as a man and a woman, that's your marriage.
Your marriage, okay.
So you could say, our marriage is in danger.
We need to work on our marriage.
Exactly. Or we have a happy marriage.
All right. Okay, so that's marriage. Now, if you get married, and this guy, he mentioned a phrase, which was to settle down.
To settle down. This is a very important phrase. To settle down means to get serious, mature, and to stop living like a child. It means really to have a house or to start having kids. It's a time in life.
So to settle down is to become more stable, right? As you say, to buy a house, to have a family, to stay in one place and not be so adventurous or stuff like that.
Exactly. So it's to calm down and to be more fixed in life.
All right. Now, the opposite of this would be to be a bachelor.
Right. So bachelor is a single man, someone who's not married. Mm-hmm. And you often hear this term when we talk about apartments. So bachelor pad is an apartment that's specific to a single man. Usually there's lots of video games and a fancy TV and a pool table. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. So bachelor, we had a lesson about this called bachelor party.
Right. Which is a party for a man right before he gets married.
Okay.
And bachelor is a special word for a man who's not yet married.
Okay. Very good. And now as they were talking about not getting married, he said that you can't leave Amy at the altar.
So you often hear this in movies, she got left at the altar, or you can't leave her at the altar. This word altar is actually religious. Altar is the table in a church where the priest does all of his work.
Right.
All right, so an altar is a special religious table.
So usually two people will stand in front of an altar and get married, right, with the priest who is doing his thing there.
Exactly. He says, do you, Joe, take Samantha to be your bride, blah, blah, blah. So that happens at a special place called the altar.
Okay, very good.
It's also common in the normal mass, like on Sundays.
Right. Okay. And for the last word or phrase today, it's to get cold feet. You're just getting cold feet.
Okay, so this is a very funny phrase in English because it doesn't actually mean that your
cold.
feet are cold,
right?
So cold feet means you're nervous about something. You might change your mind. Okay, so people often talk about men and women getting cold feet before a wedding.
But you can also relate it to any other situation, not only getting married, right?
Yeah, for example, I'm going to go jump out of an airplane tomorrow. Okay, fast forward tomorrow. Oh no, I have cold feet. I don't think I want to jump out of an airplane.
Okay, so that's to get cold feet, to have second thoughts or doubts about actually doing something.
Exactly, cold feet.
All right, so why don't we listen to our dialogue again? Let's keep a lookout for all of these words, and we'll be back in a little bit.
Man, I'm freaking out. You gotta help me.
Whoa, take it easy, relax. Jeez, you're sweating like a pig. What's going on?
I can't go through with this. I just can't. I'm not ready for marriage. What was I thinking? I'm only 35 years old. I've got my entire life ahead of me. Adventure's waiting. I can't settle down yet.
What are you talking about? It wasn't more than a month ago that you were rambling on about how you are tired of living the life of a bachelor and how you envy your friends that have a family.
I know.
Let's think this through. First of all, you cannot leave Amy at the altar. Not only will she be humiliated and kill you, but she is the woman that you love and the woman of your dreams. Why would you want to end that or jeopardize it like this? Second of all, you were just getting cold feet. You know deep down inside that you'd want to marry her. So cut the crap and do it.
You're right. I'm being crazy. Okay, I'm ready. Let's do this.
Great. Whew, that was a close one. You had me going there for a minute. I thought I was going to have to slap some sense into you. All right, we're back. So now why don't we take a look at 4 key phrases that we found in this dialogue on Fluency Builder.
Fluency builder.
This first one is a really great phrase because it's very, well, it's easy to picture this, what we're describing. Sweating like a pig.
To sweat like a pig. Okay, you're sweating like a pig.
All right, this is a way to say that someone is sweating a lot.
A lot.
Okay, and it's really gross or disgusting.
Now, do pigs actually sweat?
I don't know if pigs actually sweat, but you imagine someone smells bad and they have, sweat on their face and their back and their arms.
All right, well, sometimes don't you say you're sweating like a dog?
You could also say that. I guess we like animals in English, but this is just a really great way to say that someone is really sweaty.
All right. And, well, he was sweating and he was really nervous because he said, I can't go through with this. What does he mean, go through with this? With what?
To go through with means to actually do something, okay? So maybe I say, I don't want to jump out of an airplane. I can't go through with this. Okay, I can't jump. So it depends on what we're actually talking about.
Okay.
If we're talking about a wedding, you say, I can't go through with this. I can't get married.
So if you're planning a robbery, you say, well, in the last minute, I couldn't go through with it. I backed out.
Right, I can't complete what I talked about doing.
Okay. And now the friend, he finally gets kind of angry and he says, cut the crap.
Oh man, this is a very common phrase.
All right.
This is someone says this if they don't want to listen to you complain anymore, okay? Marco, cut the crap, okay? I don't want to hear your excuses. I don't want to hear your complaints. I want to just hear
Solutions,
ideas, positive
right.
things.
So to cut the crap is no more complaints, no more excuses, or no more talking nonsense.
Exactly. And this is common among teachers and, well, parents. Yeah.
All right, so cut the crap. Now, it's not very polite, right? So you wouldn't really say it to your boss or like a friend.
Cut the crap is kind of rude, and it's very spoken language, so I wouldn't write it down. And I would not use this with someone who is like a teacher,
Yeah, like an authority.
You don't use it with them. They might use it with you.
Okay. And for our last phrase, he said, whew, you had me going there for a while, or you had me going there for a minute.
Okay, so this is a really interesting phrase. We use this a lot in English, but it's not clear from listening to it what it might mean. So you had me going there in this sense means, oh, I was really nervous for a minute. I
really believed what you were saying.
Exactly. So maybe we could give an example, Marco.
All right.
Did you know that yesterday I won the lottery? I mean, I won like $1 million and I had the perfect numbers.
Oh my God, really? Can I have $1 million?
I would love to help you out, man, but no, I didn't actually win $1 million.
You had me going there for a minute. You
actually believed me.
I did for a little while.
You believed me. Okay, maybe not. He's not that gullible.
That gullible. All right, but that's what it means, right?
To believe someone's story or to think that something's going to happen even though it doesn't.
Right.
You had me going there. That means what you thought was going to happen didn't happen.
So you can use it in the third person. It's like, yeah, I was telling him this awesome story and I really had him going for a while.
He really believed me.
Right.
And then I told him it wasn't true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great phrases. Now let's listen to our dialogue for the last time and we'll be back to talk a little bit more about getting cold feet.
Man, I'm freaking out. You gotta help me.
Whoa, take it easy, relax. Jeez, you're sweating like a pig. What's going on?
I can't go through with this. I just can't. I'm not ready for marriage. What was I thinking? I'm only 35 years old. I've got my entire life ahead of me. Adventure's waiting. I can't settle down yet.
What are you talking about? It wasn't more than a month ago that you were rambling on about how you are tired of living the life of a bachelor and how you envy your friends that have a family.
I know.
Let's think this through. First of all, you cannot leave Amy at the altar. Not only will she be humiliated and kill you, but she is the woman that you love and the woman of your dreams. Why would you want to end that or jeopardize it like this? Second of all, you were just getting cold feet. You know deep down inside that you'd want to marry her. So cut the crap and do it.
You're right. I'm being crazy. Okay, I'm ready. Let's do this.
Great. Whew. That was a close one. You had me going there for a minute. I thought I was gonna have to slap some sense into you. All right, so this is a popular scenario, right? Somebody at their
Oh,
on their
man.
wedding day, they get cold feet and they back out.
TV, movies, books, everyone loves the situation.
Have you ever actually heard of or experienced or maybe known of somebody who actually left the bride at the altar or the groom at the altar?
I don't know anyone who did that. Luckily, I think it's really sad.
Yeah, me neither. I don't think it's really that common.
No, but there was a movie just about this. So there's a woman, Julia Roberts, who tries and tries and tries to get married, but never can. So it's called Runaway Bride.
Right.
Because every time she goes to the altar, she gets nervous. She gets cold feet and she runs away.
Right.
So they call her the Runaway Bride.
I can't imagine this actually happening to someone. I mean, you have all your family there, your friends.
I know, it'd be so embarrassing
It's amazing.
and expensive.
Exactly, because you've already paid for everything.
So do you get to eat the cake if you're the one who's left behind?
I think so. Everything's paid for, right?
Exactly.
And drink all the liquor. All right.
Oh.
So that's all the time we have for today. If you have any questions, any comments, you can come to our website at englishpod.com, and we'll see you guys there.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
A party of people at a wedding. Wedding party. Become nervous and reconsider a decision. Get cold feet. Lose one's nerve. Freak out. Long and careful examination of one's thoughts. Soul searching. Remind someone to stay calm. Slap some sense into.
Let's try that faster.
Long and careful examination of one's thoughts. Soul searching. Become nervous and reconsider a decision. Get cold feet. Lose one's nerve. Freak out. A party of people at a wedding. Wedding party. Remind someone to stay calm. Slap some sense into.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Wedding party. They planned their crime, but couldn't go through with it. Wedding party. You can't go through with this. We are going to be arrested. Wedding party. He had his doubts, but in the end, he went through with the divorce. Get cold feet. I was going to tell him, but I got cold feet. Get cold feet. I can't believe he got cold feet on his wedding day. Get cold feet. I was about to complete my work, but I got cold feet, and I came clean. Freak out. I'm sorry I freaked out in the last moment. Freak out.
Welcome back, English learners. My name is Marco, and I'm joined here by the lovely
Erica.
And today we're going to be bringing you another great lesson, one of the lessons that you requested.
Yes, that's right. Actually, Maxim S requested this one.
Right. I think he's really into research and investigation, so we're bringing you a great lesson about this topic.
Okay, so I'm really excited to hear this dialogue all about research. So why don't we start listening to two university professors discussing an important question.
We've been over this 1,000 times. The data is irrefutable. Look, we've done extensive research, built studies, and read the literature, and there is conclusive evidence to support my theory.
Horowitz, I beg to differ. Even in your most recent study, the investigative approach was flawed. You know as well as I do, the collection of data was not systematic, and there's a large margin of error. To draw a definitive conclusion based on that data would be misleading.
That is preposterous.
You are trying to single-handedly solve one of the world's greatest mysteries, and yet you're oblivious to the fact that you're wrong.
I am not wrong. The chicken came first.
No! The egg came first!
The chicken.
Egg!
The chicken.
The egg!
The chicken.
The egg!
All right, so interesting. Which came first, the chicken or the egg?
It's an age-old question, isn't it?
And apparently, they are not going to agree anytime soon.
All right, well, what they can agree about is this awesome language. So why don't we take a look at it now in Language Takeaway.
Language takeaway.
Okay, on Language Takeaway today, we have some really great words, and this first one is really good. Irrefutable.
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 The data is irrefutable.
Okay, so if the professor says that the data is irrefutable, what does he mean by that?
He's saying that you cannot deny it. It is really, really true.
It is really true. There is no way this is a lie.
Exactly.
Okay. Irrefutable evidence, for example.
Yeah, that's a great phrase. All right, so the professor complained that Dr. Horowitz's experiment was flawed.
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 So, flawed. Is that an adjective, a verb, or a noun?
It is an adjective here. Now, when something is flawed, there is a problem with it, right?
Okay,
There's
so
a
it has
mistake.
an error.
Yep.
Okay. So this adjective is a way of saying that his experiment has a flaw.
A mistake.
A mistake.
Exactly.
So flawed is the adjective of a flaw.
Right.
Okay.
Now, the reason that his study or his experiment was flawed is because that it was not systematic.
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 So systematic. That's an interesting word.
Now, I think we can recognize the word system in here, right?
Right?
So when something is systematic, it follows a process.
A certain order.
Yes, a certain system.
Right. So that's basically what systematic means, to follow a certain order, to be more organized, right?
Exactly, yep.
Okay. And what about our next word?
Preposterous.
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 That is preposterous.
I love this phrase.
It usually goes together, right? That is preposterous.
Yep.
Okay, so what does it mean when I say that?
It means it's absurd. It's ridiculous.
Right. It doesn't make sense. I can't believe you said that.
All right. Well, this is a really interesting phrase, but I think it's a little bit more common when it's used by older people.
Yeah, I don't really see a young person going up to someone and say, hey, that's preposterous.
Yeah, but it is a wonderful phrase. Now, our final phrase for takeaway, oblivious.
Oblivious.
You're oblivious to the fact.
So a person that is oblivious to something.
They don't know, or they're unaware.
Okay, so they ignore maybe the facts, or
Exactly.
they don't see it.
Yeah, you're oblivious to the fact that we're in a recession.
Okay, or he is completely oblivious. You can just say it like that, right?
Yep, he doesn't know.
Okay, so we took a look at some of the great vocabulary we found in the dialogue, but there were also some really good phrases that I think we should look at.
Okay, and let's take a look at those and putting it together.
Putting it together.
You know, Marco, one of the things I love about English is the way that words seem to fit together, like blocks coming together. And here we have a lot of great examples of these words that fit together really nicely. Okay, so why don't we look at those? And our first one now is extensive research.
Extensive research.
Extensive research.
All right, so we know extensive means
A lot.
a lot.
Yeah.
So that's really good when you put it together. Extensive research. It means you have
A lot of research.
you have really studied, you have really looked things up. Mm-hmm. Okay, extensive research.
Another great research-related phrase here is conclusive evidence.
Conclusive evidence.
Conclusive evidence.
All right, now the first word there, conclusive.
When something is conclusive, you can't argue with it. It's the final decision. All right, well, the professor complained that Horowitz's investigative approach was flawed, right? Mm-hmm. So this is our next phrase, investigative approach.
Investigative approach.
Investigative approach.
Okay, so I remember the word investigate is a verb.
Yes.
But in this case, it's
It's an adjective.
it's an adjective,
When something is investigative, it's obviously having to do with
an investigation. Mm-hmm. So the approach so when he said investigative approach,
just simply the way you investigate
okay,
the problem.
The way he investigated. Okay. Very interesting. What about this other phrase that I saw? It was really interesting. Definitive conclusion.
Definitive conclusion.
So a definitive conclusion.
All right. Well, again, I think we know the word conclusion, right?
Okay.
So it's a final judgment or decision.
All right.
When something is definitive, you can't argue with it or change it.
Okay, so the conclusion or the final result is final. Like there is no way of arguing it.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right.
Definitive conclusion.
This is some great language. So why don't we listen to it one more time in the dialogue?
We've been over this 1,000 times. The data is irrefutable. Look, we've done extensive research, built studies, and read the literature, and there is conclusive evidence to support my theory.
Horowitz, I beg to differ. Even in your most recent study, the investigative approach was flawed. You know as well as I do, the collection of data was not systematic, and there's a large margin of error. To draw a definitive conclusion based on that data would be misleading.
That is preposterous.
You are trying to single-handedly solve one of the world's greatest mysteries, and yet you're oblivious to the fact that you're wrong.
I am not wrong. The chicken came first.
No! The egg came first!
The chicken.
Egg!
The chicken.
The egg!
The chicken.
The egg!
So, an interesting question. What do you think? What came first, the chicken or the egg?
Well, if you ask me, it was the egg.
It was the egg?
Yeah.
Interesting. What about why did the chicken cross the road?
To get to the other side.
Do you think that's really the reason?
Well, there's a million different reasons, but this is great. I'm glad you brought that up because this is like the classic English joke.
The classic English joke, right? Why did the chicken cross the road? And the answer is always...
Well, there are a million answers. So, do you guys know any chicken jokes?
Yeah, why don't you come to our website, englishpod.com, and on the comments section, why don't you leave us your thoughts on what came first, the chicken or the egg, and why do you think the chicken crossed the road?
Research. Research is the process of finding new information, answering questions, and solving problems. It helps people learn more about the world and make better decisions. Research is used in many fields, such as science, medicine, business, and education. Students, teachers, scientists, and professionals all use research to improve their knowledge and understanding. Why is research important? Research is important because it helps people gain knowledge. Without research, we would not know about history, medicine, technology, or the universe. Research helps doctors find new treatments for diseases. Scientists discover new planets. And businesses understand what customers want. It also helps students learn and develop new ideas. Research allows people to solve problems. For example, If a city has too much traffic, research can help find ways to reduce congestion. If a company wants to sell a new product, research can show what customers need. In education, research helps teachers find better ways to teach students. Types of research. Research is done in many different fields and for different reasons. The way research is conducted depends on the goal, the subject, and the methods used. Some research is based on experiments, while others rely on studying past information. Here are some of the main types of research. Scientific research. Scientific research focuses on understanding the natural world, technology, medicine, and human health. Scientists perform experiments, collect data, and analyze results to discover new knowledge. For example, medical researchers study diseases to find new treatments, while physicists explore the laws of the universe. This type of research helps improve medicine, technology, and our understanding of the environment. Historical research. Historical research is the study of past events, people, and cultures. Historians look at old books, letters, newspapers, and artifacts to learn about history. This research helps people understand how societies have changed over time and how past decisions influence the present. For example, researchers study ancient civilizations to learn how they lived, what they believed, and how they built cities. Social research. Social research focuses on human behavior, cultures, and societies. Sociologists and psychologists study how people interact, what influences their decisions, and how societies change. This type of research helps improve education, economics, and social policies. For example, researchers study how children learn in different environments or how people react to advertisements. Market research. Market research is done by businesses to understand customer needs, preferences, and behaviors. Companies collect information through surveys, interviews, and product testing. This research helps businesses create better products, improve customer service, and increase sales. For example, a company may research which colors people prefer for a new smartphone or what type of food is most popular in a certain area. Educational research. Educational research helps improve teaching methods and learning experiences. Teachers and researchers study how students learn, which teaching techniques are most effective, and how technology can support education. This type of research helps schools develop better curriculums and improve student performance. For example, researchers may study whether online learning is as effective as classroom learning. Medical research. Medical research helps doctors and scientists find new ways to treat and prevent diseases. This type of research includes testing new medicines, studying viruses, and improving surgical techniques. It helps save lives and improve the quality of healthcare. For example, researchers work to develop vaccines for new diseases and find better treatments for cancer. Environmental research. Environmental research focuses on nature, climate, and ecosystems. Scientists study air pollution, deforestation, and global warming to find ways to protect the environment. This type of research helps create solutions for clean energy, water conservation, and wildlife protection. For example, researchers study how plastic pollution affects the ocean and how to reduce it. The research process. The research process is a step-by-step way of finding, analyzing, and understanding information. Good research follows a clear process to ensure accuracy and reliability. Choosing a topic. The first step in research is deciding what to study. Researchers choose a topic based on their interests, current problems, or gaps in knowledge. A good research topic is specific, clear, and meaningful. For example, instead of researching climate change, a researcher may focus on the effects of climate change on Arctic wildlife, gathering information. Once the topic is chosen, researchers collect information from different sources. These sources include books, academic journals, websites, interviews, and past studies. It is important to use reliable sources to ensure the accuracy of the information. Government reports, university studies, and expert interviews are considered trustworthy sources. Asking questions. Research begins with a question that needs an answer. This question helps guide the study and keeps it focused. For example, a researcher studying healthy eating may ask, "How does sugar affect children's energy levels?" Good research questions help researchers find useful information, conducting experiments and surveys. Some research includes experiments where scientists test different ideas to see what works. Other research involves surveys where people answer questions to provide data. For example, a scientist testing a new medicine may compare how two groups of people react to it. A company studying customer behavior may conduct a survey to learn what products people like the most. Analyzing data. After gathering information, researchers study it carefully. They look for patterns, trends, and important facts. This step helps them understand what the information means. For example, if researchers collect data on how much exercise people do in a week, they may find that people who exercise more are healthier. Drawing conclusions. Once the data is analyzed, researchers make conclusions based on their findings. They decide what the information tells them and how it can be used. If the research is about a new medicine, they determine if it is safe and effective. If the research is about education, they see if a teaching method helps students learn better. Sharing results. The final step in the research process is sharing the findings. Researchers write reports, publish articles, or present their results at conferences. This allows others to learn from the research and use it for future studies. Sharing results is important because it helps advance knowledge and solve problems. Challenges in research. Research can be difficult because it takes time, effort, and resources. One challenge is finding accurate and reliable information. Not all sources are trustworthy, and some may contain incorrect or biased information. Researchers must be careful and check multiple sources before making conclusions. Another challenge is time and cost. Research, especially scientific research, can take months or years to complete. Some research needs expensive equipment, travel, or large teams of researchers. Funding from governments, universities, or companies is often required. Ethical issues are another challenge in research. Researchers must follow ethical guidelines to protect people, animals, and the environment. For example, medical researchers must test medicines safely, and social researchers must respect people's privacy. The importance of research. Research is important because it helps people find answers, solve problems, and learn new things. It is used in medicine, business, education, and many other fields. Research improves technology, health, and knowledge. It allows people to make better decisions and develop new ideas. Whether studying history, science, business, or social behavior, research helps expand our understanding of the world. By following a clear process, using reliable sources, and analyzing information carefully, anyone can conduct good research. It is a valuable skill that helps students, professionals, and experts improve their work and make a positive impact on society. Challenges in research. Research can be difficult. One challenge is finding reliable information. Not all sources are trustworthy, and some may contain false or biased information. Researchers must check multiple sources to confirm accuracy. Another challenge is time. Research takes a lot of time, especially when conducting experiments or collecting data. Researchers must be patient and careful in their work. Some research requires funding. Scientific research, for example, often needs expensive equipment and laboratories. Researchers must find financial support from universities, companies, or governments. Ethics in research. Ethics in research means following rules to ensure fairness and honesty. Researchers must not lie about their findings or change data to fit their opinions. They must also respect the rights of people who participate in studies. For example, if a researcher studies human behavior, they must ask for permission from participants and protect their privacy. Scientific researchers must also consider the environment and animals. For example, medical researchers testing new drugs must follow ethical guidelines to ensure safety. Research in everyday life. Research is not just for scientists and students. It is part of everyday life. People do research when they read product reviews before buying something, compare different job opportunities, or look for the best travel destinations. Parents do research to find good schools for their children, and doctors research the best treatments for patients. The internet has made research easier. People can find information quickly with search engines, online libraries, and educational websites. However, it is important to check if the information is true and reliable. The future of research. Research is always changing and improving. Technology has made it easier to find and share information. Artificial intelligence, AI, is helping researchers analyze data faster. Scientists are using advanced tools to explore space, cure diseases, and solve environmental problems. Education is also benefiting from research. Online learning, virtual classrooms, and new teaching methods are improving education worldwide. Research continues to shape the way people learn and communicate. Conclusion. Research is an important part of learning and problem solving. It helps people find answers, make better decisions, and improve the world. Whether studying history, science, business, or health, research provides valuable knowledge. By using reliable sources, following ethical guidelines, and asking good questions, anyone can become a better researcher. Research is not just for experts, it is a skill that everyone can use in daily life.